Kind of wanted to make a video today. Just kind of had a little bit of free time, but kind of wanted to do a video basically showing the potential of some of these cryptos and what they could eventually get to on the longer term time frames. Don't have too much to look forward to this year with the yearly candle we got this past year. It's a very bearish year, but I kind of wanted to look on beyond this year and maybe next year what to expect, as we get closer to, like 2030, around that time frame where we could be at, and just the potential of crypto, kind of far out in the future, maybe the next 5 to 10 years. And XRP has always been a really popular crypto, and I pulled up its USD chart here, and this is kind of what I can see it doing long term, and I can see it doing crazy things. And I was kind of hoping last year, back in 2025, that we would get this big move, but we got rejected here at this upper trend line that goes back to 2017. Kind of comes across here, and we got up to it in February of or January of 2025. Then we came back again in July and tested the same area right around $3.40 or whatever it is, $3.50. And we've been rejected again, and so now we have a trend line coming up from March of 2020, kind of comes up, touches some points down here, chops around into it, and then gets up off of it. So what we kind of have is like an ascending triangle, and this is years in the making, 2027. So by the time this year's over, this will be 10 years in the making in here. We initially had momentum up, and now we've just been kind of chopping in here for years. And here's the apex of it, is right around 2029. So that's kind of where the apex is. Not to say that it will completely fill in and go one way or the other, but maybe 2028, 2029 on XRP is kind of what we're looking at right now, because we didn't get up and go last year. We got rejected, and so now we're coming down to, heading down to our support zone on that bottom trend line. So like I've said in previous videos, I'm looking at that 90 to 95 cent area on XRP. I do think we will get it sometime this year, and I think that could be the buying opportunity of a lifetime if we can come down, maybe coil in here, or come down in this pennant and then get up, later this year into next year, and maybe chop around in here for another year, and then maybe set up and go in 2029. And the move we will get, it will be just absolutely monstrous. It'll be a monstrous move, and I'll show you. So this is the logarithmic view of XRP, and we kind of have a ascending triangle. You could also say that we have a form of a cup, and maybe we're forming the handle right now. We'll kind of see on that, but if this is a cup and handle, which it's ugly, but if this is a cup, and then over here we have the handle right here, if that's what forms right here, the measured move for XRP would be, if we take the lowest point up to our highest point of the neckline of the cup, and then we take it from where the breakout is. So we're talking about 106, $100, right there, 111, 110, call it $110. Sometime maybe 2029 into 2030. That's a huge, move from whenever we hit the break all-time high at $3.50 or whatever it is. I mean, that's a 2,800% move, you know, if this sets up, and that's if that's a cup and handle. You could also, this would be absolutely nuts, but the percentage move we got from our lowest to our highest point, back in 2017 to 2018, we saw that huge monster move in XRP. If we break out like we did, we fired. Now we've been coiling for years and years and years. Here's what our potential next move could be. Look at this. 3,600, 3,700. Insane. Absolutely insane. Pumps. We get this coil action, and then 28, 20, 29. Holy moly, that would be a monster move. And wow, and we'll be watching it, and like when this sets up, like I will be screaming it, and I'll be like, hey, it might be go time. I don't know if this will happen, and if it does, it could take years, maybe 5-10 years to get up that way, but maybe it takes a year or two. We get up to 100. We set up for another couple years, and then we get up to that range. Like that's probably how it plays out sometime by like 2035, 2034, and we get up that high. That's not, it's the year 2026 right now, but we're talking about less than 10 years to make, let's draw that again. Let's lowest point. Let's just be a little bit conservative with it. For years, and that's 71,000%. That would be absolutely insane. That'd be a monster gainer. So, that is why I continue to hold a little bit of spot XRP just in case it decides it wants to go and it's ready to go. I don't think it's ready yet. I think it needs to fill in a little bit more into the apex here. And after it got rejected, like it's not ready to go. It's going to take some time to heal and set up and go, and it's probably going to take a couple more years. I don't think it'll necessarily go next year. It's going to need time to come into the bottom trend line down here, and it's going to need to set up properly. Probably it'll take a year to set up, and then 2028 at the earliest, I think we could see that monster move, and that would be exciting. I really, really wish we would have got it this last year, and I was really hoping we would, and we just got rejected. So it's more coiling for now, and more patience, more time to accumulate, and and maybe it doesn't go. Maybe we come down and we break this trend line and we fall off. Like it's possible. Like could this be a shoulder ahead, another shoulder right here, and then XRP dies off? Like maybe, but overall the bigger picture is this is a bullish pattern. Like we get initial ascent and then we coil in here, and usually after you coil after a big move, you come out of it majority of the time and you go higher. So I definitely think that there's going to be big things out of XRP in the future. It's just not this year, unfortunately. It just kind of, really wish, I was wrong and would love to be wrong, but, it's just not there yet. It needs time to complete down here, hit the bottom trend line, then get up, maybe test, its all-time highs, probably get rejected, and then, coil a little bit more and then come up. and go. So yeah, that's XRP, and I know this is a big popular one that everyone likes, and I'm interested into it. I've been interested in XRP for about 5 years now, and I've owned some for the last 5 years, and I mean, I really do see there being huge potential for a huge monster squeeze in the coming years. Just not ready yet, in my opinion. I think XLM is similar. Um, Again, this is the logarithmic view of it. This is XLM Stellar USD. Um, it's much like everything else. Like, we came up and got rejected. Like, I thought we could have got through here and made a big move last year, but we got rejected, and now, we're probably going to come down and test lower this year, and then probably coil for a couple years before making a big move out. Like, this looks very, very healthy, on the long-term view. I mean, these are years of time. This is all the data we have, for this crypto. And I think the measured move eventually, when it breaks out, will be $11. And that's a big move out of here. And that's a conservative, kind of view. I mean, you could take your lowest point down here, up here, and then, move it over to where the potential breakout could be. And, this yellow line right here, this could be the short-term move set up again. And then maybe we make, the measured move of this purple line of 200, over the next, 5 to 10 years. And, for something that's sitting at 15 cents, it seems crazy, but, that's kind of how things can work. And, but we got to watch it. We got to see if it coils in here. And then when it starts to break out, that's when, it might start looking right. Definitely very exciting, but definitely a patience game right now for probably a while. And we'll be watching these, support trend lines. If they start getting broken, then yeah, it may be a dead project. And but for now, even with this huge bearish pullback we've been getting this year and selling off for the last 4 months, like, we're still, in our pattern in the long term scope of things. So the world isn't ending, yet. We're still coiling in here as far as I'm concerned on the long term. Same with XRP. Just because, it seems like it's kind of dying off the last 4 months with Bitcoin, and crypto seems like it's just, buried. It's like, we're still in our pattern here. Our long-term pattern is holding, as long as this bottom trend line holds down here, I think we're okay. So definitely some things to look at for the future. Solana was interesting because I was drawing this last night, and it's actually kind of broken its longer term trend line. There's really not much I can connect. There's definitely a level down here, right down here. Some swings in there, swing there. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if Solana's going to come all the way back down to $19 before getting back up. But, man, we had so much potential. We coiled in here, or we got tight, and then I thought we could make a big move out, but we didn't. We got rejected, and now we've broken our bottom trend line. Solana, I've been shorting a lot. So it doesn't look too good for Solana, I will say, longer term. I don't really have too much. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, we had a cup right here, and we had a handle, and the measured move, for Solana was, let's look at that, right around 7,900, from this breakout. when Solana was at $255, a move up to 6,000 to 7,000. Just that's what we were looking for last year, was this breakout, and we just didn't get it. And we even coiled back up, tried for one more attempt, and then got a little double top, and then just died off from it. So kind of sad. So it may need to come down to this trend line, and it's at $80 right now. So I mean, that's still a pretty big drop down to $17. But I mean, we could see it this year, a big drop in Solana, and maybe this is the bottom down here, where all these swings are down here, or maybe it's more like I don't know. I mean, I would say anywhere between $14 to $20, like it can come down to, and then maybe it sets up and gets back up. Who knows? So just something to watch. But that's Solana. ADA Cardano is a popular one. I'm kind of looking at the popular cryptos right now, mostly because I don't know, the meme coins, all those are kind of, they don't look too great. I want to do ones that could possibly have more utility in the more well-known cryptos. So ADA's actually came down to a really big level down here. I almost kind of want to spot buy some ADA just because that's such a big level that it came down to this last week or 2 weeks ago, I guess I should say. So it met with a couple trend lines. One coming across here, we pick up, touches along here, and then a touch here. So, and then we have our bottom trend line that comes back and picks up some touches, and then our last wick down here. So yeah, I mean, let's see. I don't know if we can really get a true measured move. If this coils in here in this little pennant, we're looking at like 2029, 2030 before a move out. And let's see, a potential target for ADA. Let's look here. Let's just get crazy with it. So if this coils in here, it's kind of like a pennant. Not really. I don't think it's a descending wedge, but it comes out here. Look at that. There's a move to $60 on ADA Cardano. That'd be 16,000% move or something that's at almost a quarter. So, $60. Yeah, just call it $60 over the course of the next, probably, I don't know, let's just call it 5 to 10 years is possible. If it completes in here, and this would be a lot of coiling. It could happen sooner, like maybe it comes down and then gets up, and maybe it's ready by 2028. I don't know. Most of these things look like they're about to set up and go by like 2029, 2030. So we'll see. And with all the crap that's going on in the world, maybe crypto's just not ready yet. Like, it's not ready for. It just needs more time to coil. So maybe by 2030, there's a big boom in the crypto market. Doge, trend line coming up here. We haven't quite made it to the long-term trend line, so I think maybe at some point this year we will come down to it. Maybe chop around for a while, come down into it sometime this year, and then hopefully get back up. It's in a little like flag sort of thing right now. But I mean, if you draw these trend lines out a little bit, if you pull them out, like it, I mean, it looks like it's only halfway complete. And, you know, here's 2030, and here's 2031. So, and we're in 2026. You know, this started forming back in 2021. So, I mean, this could be 10 years in the making right here. Like, if we just chop around before getting up and going. And Doge would make a pretty big move up. So, I mean, initial ascent, and now we have chop. Here's our long-term trend line coming up. So I wonder if we chop in here and then come into, you know, our long-term trend line, and then maybe get up in 2029 and go. Maybe it doesn't complete the full flag or whatever. Maybe we come up, we get rejected at the top trend line. Maybe we come down, test the bottom trend line, set up, and then go. The measured move for Doge would be $113, 121, right around 110 to 120. So if we coiled in here and then held this, you know, kind of this flag, pin it, and then go. So that would be our measured move. So what is that, December 2028? So probably from, you know, the beginning of 2029 to 2030, you know, over the course of a year or two, we could get up to 121. So it's just something to eyeball and look at. And, you know, it's not necessarily the case that this will play out. I mean, things could happen until then. Like, we break through, or we break up early and then come back down and chop it. Like, things happen, but it's just, you know, if you want a little bit of hopium out there for the long term, things that could potentially be very bullish long term, just because, you know, there's really not much to talk about right now. Everything looks ugly for this year, so. But I mean, H-bar was another one I was looking at, and there's a little bit of latency between my voice and the screen. Like, the words aren't really matching up with the computer screen. I apologize for that. So this is H-bar. Then we're just like everything else, we're coiling in here. Here's our long-term trend line kind of coming up through here. We've kind of come down and touched it recently. Couple touches there, some touches on top. I'm trying different color trend lines. But so that way it's kind of easier to see. You know, we kind of have a cup and a handle forming right here. I don't know if that's exactly what this will be, but I could see us, you know, kind of coiling in here, and then here's 2028, late 2028. You know, we could even pull this further across, and then take this trend line, pull it up a little bit. You know, so maybe we coil in here a little bit, and then, yep, here's 2029. Do we get up and get out from there? And I don't know. But, you know, H-bar's another really popular one. There's $15 on H-bar. It's at 9 cents right now, so I don't know. What else? Here's another meme coin. Let's see here. This one, that would be I don't know, we'll just be conservative. 2,000% move. I don't know. kind of had the cup and the handle right there, and I can't believe we didn't just get up and go. We just, just so much potential. And now we have a descending wedge here. So, and this kind of completes around late this year, so this will be interesting to watch. See if we coil in here and then start to break out. We could see a big move up out of crypto called People I've been watching, so that's another one. And it's been beat down pretty far. XDC. Yeah, I mean, there's really not much here. Just the upper and bottom trend line. I really don't have much else on it. It's a wacky one. It's all over the place. It trades randomly and how it wants to. It doesn't always follow Bitcoin and the rest of the alts, but I don't know. Anything else? Ethereum. Yeah, Ethereum's got a ascending triangle pennant. It's already kind of jabbed out of it and kind of sold back in. I don't know. It's ugly. So the measured move from down here to up here, I already have drawn, and it would be wild. But could Ethereum see 175,000 into like early 2030s? Man, that'd be crazy. But we're not talking about it until 2028. 2029, if that's the case. Needs more time to coil in here and go. It's like everything else. Like, we didn't get it last year, so it's probably going to take a few more years to heal and set up and go. And, I mean, these are big monster moves. Like, that's a monster move. Let's see, what else? Anything else? Bitcoin. Let's look at Bitcoin real quick. Bitcoin. The computer's so slow, like the trend lines won't even pop up yet. Like, come on. There you go. Bitcoin actually has a very long-term bearish-looking chart. It's in a rising wedge that I've talked about before. Apologize, the phone's ringing in the background. I'm just not a big fan of Bitcoin's long-term chart. Like, honestly, it's like one of my least favorite charts. It just looks bearish. Like, even if you connected points down here and up, down here, it's a rising wedge, which can lead to bearish patterns downward. But I will say, if we do break up out of it, we take one of our lower points to our higher points, there's 2.4 million on Bitcoin, if it does get up and go. And, I think anything's possible, and it's just like, a percentage move based on what it did from March of 2020 to, 21. So that took a year of time, and we're talking about the same percentage move, from where it would be at if it got up in this ascending wedge and then surprised up, like, 2.5 million into, going into 2030 or whatever. Like, I mean, I think it's possible. It's going to have to save itself this year, get up, and surprise up out of the ascending wedge. It's right now currently, and I don't know if that's going to happen. That's just crazy speculative, like way out there. It's going to have to save itself. It's got this level in here where all these swings were hit, where it's going to come down into. And, this is why I've been saying, like, I'm very confident we will see between 50 and 55K Bitcoins, because, I truly believe that this is a inverse cup and handle. There's a cup right here, and there's a handle right here. So the way you would draw that, the measured move, is from the break of that neckline. And that takes us right into this trend line right here, just a tad bit below it. So, I mean, there's 54,000 right there, and I think we could wick down maybe just a little bit more. But, I mean, yeah, I truly believe we're going to see low 50K Bitcoin, sometime maybe in the next few weeks. I don't know how much. Like I said, I think we could come up, chop around, and then come down into it, and then maybe bottom before May or June. And I think May or June could be the bottom for this year, before trying to attempt to get back up. But so yeah, that's my target. But it's gonna have to save itself if we want to see these big moves in the years to come. Like Bitcoin needs to come down bottom and then get right back up into this pattern, because right now it's sitting right now as we speak on that bottom trend line, that goes back, and this actually isn't even drawn right. Let's come down here actually. I mean, actually this trend line's already broken through here. So yeah, I mean, it's going to have to set up and then get up and create a new pattern of sorts. But I mean, this was a big deal, this trend line coming in through here, and it's broken. So I mean, I wonder if it comes back. Let's mess around with it here a little bit. Let's see if we can connect. Yep. Okay, that's even better. That's even better. I like that. How do we want to draw the top one? Let's just do that. Or let's connect these swings up here. I know it's probably tighter like that, but let's just keep it open for now. So this goes back to 2020. So this is 6 years. We play around it here. We hit it and play around it here. And then these recent swings back in December, we played around that trend line and then just broke through. So, I mean, I really don't know. Like, I think we're going to come down for sure and see 50 to 55K Bitcoin, before maybe, setting up and getting back up. And then hopefully go on a big run, sometime. But I mean, like I said, Bitcoin's chart is super ugly. Like, there's just nothing bullish in here. Like, this is very bearish. This ascending wedge that we've broken out of now. It's like, man, this thing could really die off here. Like, I don't know how people are so bullish on it. Like, we haven't come down even into a support area to think that it could hold yet. Like, we're just kind of in no man's land, sitting at 66,000 for the past couple weeks, and so I think we're going to see our next leg down here soon, and then we'll kind of see what happens there. Like, do we set up again and go even lower, and then maybe test like this trend line coming through, which I can probably draw it better. Maybe it's tighter. Maybe it's like up here. Connects that swing down there. I don't know. Maybe it's not even that. Maybe. Let's see. Is there something that comes across here? Let's see. Maybe something like this. Like a level through here. Oops. Struggling with the new computer. We get a new mouse today, which will help. So maybe a level that we play around in there. We touch there, touch there, touch there. Okay, so there's 3 major touches. One here, and one here. So there's a level in there that we could come into. I mean, so this is 49K. That's that, you know, before we went on our big run, I remember this day back here in 2024 when we came down and got to 48K. So maybe we have to come down again, you know, right around that 48, 50K level. Maybe we wick down to it and then that's the bottom before getting back up. I really don't know, like, any other areas to, like, draw, like, past that. Like, I would have to sit down and really look at it for anything coming down. But there's just not a lot, like, so, I don't know. I definitely think, like I said, between, you know, that 49, 50 to 55K, like, somewhere in here, I think we bottom this year before getting back up. And that's if we do get back up. Maybe we bottom down here for a while. We chop around for like a year, and then maybe we sell off into 2027. I mean, like, it's very possible. So I don't know. Bitcoin just doesn't look good long term, in my opinion. Like, it looks more bearish than bullish long term at this point. Like, if we were gonna go on this big move, we had that cup and handle and that breakout. Like, this is what we really should have had. Like, this is what I was expecting and what I was really excited about last year, and we didn't get it. So there's the neckline. And so from the breakout right here, you know, cup, here's our handle right here. And then here's our breakout right here. This would have took us up to 330,000 Bitcoin, you know. And I really felt like we should have got that. And just, I don't know whether it's political stuff that came out. It's just like we didn't get it. And people's, you know, fear with the market or something, you know. But, and now we're extremely bearish now. So it really can't even really get up and save itself. Like, it is what it is at this point. Like, it's broken major trend lines, and you don't just, you know, magically heal when you've come this far, broken through these trend lines. Like, it's clearly broken, and now we have to set up our next pattern. And it sucked because this went back years. This is 2020, and then it finally broke through in 2026. This was 6 years in the making, and now we've broken it. So, in the matter of a couple months. So we'll see what the next big long-term pattern will be for Bitcoin. You know, maybe we get some sort of descending wedge, and then, you know, by the time 27 and 28 come, maybe we get up. Maybe that's what it is. We don't know yet. So, but yeah, I just wanted to, you know, show some, you know, kind of long-term predictions of things that could potentially set up and happen, you know. And like I said, none of this is financial advice. This is just, you know, educational, entertainment purposes, and, you know, just something to look at. And once again, apologize for any of the delay in the audio compared to the screen. I'm trying to work on getting that fixed, but yeah, hope you enjoyed this type of stuff.